What happens when a peaceful retreat into nature ends in brutal violence, leaving only unanswered questions? Julie Williams, a promising geologist, and Laura Winans, an aspiring wilderness guide, embarked on what should have been a relaxing camping trip in Shenandoah National Park in 1996, but instead of returning home, they disappeared, and their bodies were discovered days later in a remote corner of the park, victims of a brutal crime. The chilling question remains: who could have committed such a horrific act in one of America's most serene and protected spaces? Welcome back to Wicked Woods. Today, we unravel a tragic mystery that unfolded in one of the nation's beloved national parks, a case that has haunted investigators for decades. This is the story of Julie Williams and Laura Winans, two women whose love for nature and each other ended in a violent tragedy that left law enforcement searching for answers in the quiet woods of Shenandoah National Park. Julie Ann Marie Williams and Laura Salisbury Winans came from different worlds, yet shared a powerful connection. Born in the 1970s, Julie was a high achiever with a passion for geology. A natural athlete, she won the Minnesota State Doubles Tennis Championship in high school, and her academic pursuits led her to Europe in college, where she studied dinosaur extinction. Following college, she moved to Richmond, Vermont, and took a job at a bookstore in Burlington, eager to build her future and pursue her dreams in the sciences. Laura Winans, in contrast, embraced a free-spirited lifestyle. Raised in a well-to-do family in Michigan, she chose to distance herself from the privileges of her upbringing. After high school, she moved to Vermont for college, but eventually dropped out, searching for a path that resonated with her passion for adventure. In 1994, she found that path at Unity College near Waterville, Maine, where she began studying to become a wilderness guide. Laura was deeply connected to the outdoors, driven by a desire to help others discover the healing and transformative power of nature. The two women met in 1994 at Woodswoman, an outdoor adventure organization in Minnesota focused on empowering women through wilderness education and exploration. Despite their contrasting backgrounds, they quickly connected, their shared love of the outdoors creating a powerful bond. Over time, Julie and Laura's relationship blossomed into a committed partnership, filled with the joy of shared adventures and a deep appreciation for each other's strengths. By 1996, Julie was about to embark on a new chapter in her life, with a job awaiting her in Lake Champlain, Vermont, scheduled to begin on June 1st. To celebrate this milestone, Julie and Laura planned a camping trip to Shenandoah National Park, a destination renowned for its serene landscapes and beautiful trails. They set out for the park on May 19, 1996, with plans to return by May 28th, making the trip a way to relax and enjoy each other's company before the start of Julie's new role. The trip held special meaning for both women, symbolizing not only a celebration of Julie's new job, but also a continuation of their shared passion for exploring nature together. Unbeknownst to them, this journey to the park would become their last. The couple's adventure, marked by their usual sense of excitement and love for the outdoors, would take an unforeseen and tragic turn, forever altering the lives of those who knew and loved them. On that Sunday, Julie and Laura set out for their camping trip to Shenandoah National Park, bringing along their beloved golden retriever, Taj. The couple planned to spend a week hiking and camping, reveling in the beauty of the wilderness together. Over the following days, they enjoyed the tranquility and seclusion of the park, making the most of their time surrounded by nature. They were last seen alive on May 24th while exploring the park, unaware of the tragedy that was about to unfold. Days passed without a word from Julie or Laura, raising concerns among their families. On May 31st, Julie's father, Thomas Williams, reported his daughter missing. Park rangers immediately launched a search for the couple, hoping to locate them quickly. During the search, rangers found their car parked just north of Skyland Lodge, providing a clue to their whereabouts. Soon after, they came upon Taj, the couple's golden retriever, wandering through the park alone, his leash absent. The sight of the dog without his owners only intensified the urgency of the search. The next evening, on June 1st, 1996, rangers made a grim discovery. Julie and Laura's bodies were found at a secluded campsite about a quarter-mile from Skyline Drive near the Appalachian Trail. The isolated location suggested they had chosen the spot for its privacy and peacefulness. Instead, it had become the scene of an unimaginable crime, shattering the serenity they had sought in the wilderness. The details of the scene were horrifying. Laura was found inside their tent, while Julie lay in her sleeping bag on an embankment roughly 40 feet away. Both women had been bound and gagged, their hands and mouths restricted in a brutal manner. Their lives had been violently taken, their throats slashed in a merciless act. The partially undressed state of their bodies initially suggested a sexual motive. However, there was no evidence that either woman had been sexually assaulted. As the investigation into Julie Williams and Laura Winans' murders began, officials noted how rare violent crimes are on federal lands. In fact, Julie and Laura's case remains the only homicide recorded in Shenandoah National Park. When a crime occurs on federal property, the investigation process is often complex and challenging. National parks fall under federal jurisdiction, and Shenandoah National Park in particular is under exclusive federal jurisdiction, which grants only the federal government law enforcement authority over crimes committed there. In this case, special agents from the National Park Service led the investigation, working closely with the FBI to pursue leads and gather evidence. For over a year, however, there was little progress in identifying a suspect. Then, in July 1997, a Maryland resident named Darrell Rice emerged as a person of interest. He was arrested for attempting to abduct a female bicyclist in Shenandoah National Park. During the incident, Rice reportedly ran the cyclist off the road, tried to pull her into his truck, and then attempted to run her over when she resisted. Thankfully, the woman managed to escape, but the attack highlighted Rice's violent tendencies. He eventually pleaded guilty to the attempted abduction and received an 11-year prison sentence. In April 2002, Rice was officially charged with the murders of Julie and Laura. Prosecutors alleged that he targeted them out of hatred for women and homosexuals. Investigators reported that Rice had made disturbing statements, expressing animosity towards gay people and claiming he preyed on women because he viewed them as more vulnerable. Rice even went so far as to tell investigators that Julie and Laura deserved to die because of their relationship, referring to them with derogatory language. He also reportedly had a history of troubling behavior toward women, including verbal harassment of female coworkers and random acts of aggression toward women. Additional evidence seemed to implicate Rice. He was seen on a videotape entering Shenandoah National Park on May 25th and 26, 1996, the dates close to when Julie and Laura were last seen alive. Although Rice denied being in the park on those 2 days, a witness later confirmed seeing him around the time of the murders. This circumstantial evidence supported investigators' suspicions and led to Rice becoming the primary suspect in the case. Despite these suspicions, forensic evidence from the crime scene ultimately failed to link Rice to the murders. A hair found attached to Laura's bindings, as well as other DNA samples recovered from the scene, did not match Rice. Due to the lack of physical evidence, the charges against Rice were dismissed without prejudice in 2004, meaning he could still be prosecuted if new evidence surfaced. Without a solid forensic connection, the case against him remained inconclusive, leaving many unanswered questions. Another suspect who emerged in the investigation was Richard Vonitz, a known serial killer who took his own life in 2002 as police closed in to arrest him for the murders of 3 young women. Although investigators have considered Vonitz a possible suspect in Julie and Laura's case, no conclusive evidence has yet tied him to the crime. For years, the tragic murders of Julie Williams and Laura Winans remained unsolved, with lingering questions and no definitive answers about who took their lives in the peaceful surroundings of Shenandoah National Park. For about 30 years, the investigation into the murders of Julie Williams and Laura Winans stalled, leaving their case cold and without resolution. In 2021, however, the FBI's Richmond Division reopened the case with a fresh team of investigators committed to uncovering new leads. Utilizing advancements in forensic technology, the team sent multiple pieces of evidence to a private laboratory, hoping to retrieve crucial DNA. When the lab successfully identified a DNA profile, the FBI entered it into the Combined DNA Index System CODIS, a national database of genetic information. In a breakthrough moment, the DNA profile matched a known offender, Walter Leo Jackson Sr., a convicted rapist from Cleveland, Ohio. The FBI conducted further tests to compare Jackson's DNA with additional evidence collected from the scene, and each sample reaffirmed the match. This DNA confirmation provided investigators with the first conclusive suspect to the murders of Julie and Laura, linking Jackson to the crime scene after nearly 3 decades. Jackson's background cast a disturbing light on his potential for violence. He had a lengthy criminal record, filled with convictions for kidnappings, rapes, and assaults, and was known to be an avid hiker who frequented Shenandoah National Park, where Julie and Laura were last seen alive. Despite his repeated offenses, Jackson had eluded connection to the murders, dying in an Ohio prison in March 2018 at the age of 70, without ever facing justice for his alleged crimes in Shenandoah. On June 20th, 2024, the FBI announced that Jackson's DNA conclusively linked him to the murders of Julie Williams and Laura Winans. Though Jackson was deceased, this revelation brought a sense of closure to a case that had haunted the victims' families, friends, and the law enforcement community for nearly 3 decades. The announcement marked an end to years of unanswered questions and ongoing grief, allowing a degree of resolution even if justice in court would remain unattainable. What are your thoughts on Julie and Laura's heartbreaking story? Do you believe the authorities could have done more to solve the case sooner? How do you feel about the ongoing mysteries surrounding their tragic deaths in Shenandoah National Park? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to subscribe and follow me on social media for the latest updates. Stay vigilant, keep questioning, and I'll see you soon with another haunting true crime story. Until then, goodbye.